Hey guys, how everybody doing? If you don't know, I'm Mystery of Diamonds, and I do have with me Jess from S&J Creations. She is the owner of the Dragons of Books Facebook group. And I have our wonderful artist, Randal Spangler, who we absolutely love. I'm going to go ahead and give this disclaimer at the beginning because I'm really hoping that it doesn't happen. But there are storms outside, and we changed phone providers. I went to T-Mobile instead of Verizon that I was with, and trying to finagle all the internet plus with storms, it's a little bit tricky. So I did want to get that out in case something happens. These two would still be on and I'll have to jump back on. If it does, I'm really hoping that it doesn't. And so I just kind of got fingers crossed on that. Sorry, I'm like, and towards the beginning of this, we're gonna do the giveaway. We'll pick the giveaway for week 3. Now, just to give you a heads up, we still have this week. This week the week will end on, there's 31 days in this month, I think, right? 31. I always have to look at my knuckles to do the January, February, March. Yes, there's 31. I remember that little thing that my elementary teacher gave me. So there's 31 days. So on the 31st, which should be Friday, I will turn off commenting on that last post that I already put up. And then we will be going live one more time with Randal and Jess on next Monday, and that will be our the grand prize giveaway as well as the final weekly drawing. So first we'll do the weekly drawing for week. Do not go out, lights. No. The final week for the DAC gift card. And of course, Randal has an amazing grand prize of one of his original artworks, which just we always love that. So I'm going to quickly say hey to everybody, and then we'll do the giveaway and all that. So hello, Sherry, Bubbles Crafty Corner. Hey, John and Joe, Carly, Marion, how are you? Kylie, Robin, how are you? Leona. I know, can't wait to see what all we learned tonight. I know I am learning so much. I cannot even tell you. These have become one of my favorites to rewatch, especially since I can't draw while we're doing it, and to try to get some hints and tricks and everything. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Kaden, sweetie. Hey, Diamond Painting Diehard. How are you? Joanna, Liz, Katrina, Tammy. How are you? How are you, girl? Sparkling Diamonds. Hello. Hey, Tijuana. How are you? Or Karina. I hope I said that right. Karina. I like that name. Catherine. How are you? Hey, Jen. Hey, Sue girl. Hey, Stephanie. Hello, my bestie. There's Kara, my bestie. Hey, Jen Does Diamonds. Hey, Diamond Days. Jumping in to say, hey, I'm so glad that you did. Hello, Diane. Let's see. Hey, Lady Dragon Marie. I'm so glad you're here because I love your name, girl. I love that name, Lady Dragon. Hey, Erin. Hey, Vanessa. How are you? And Carolyn. And let's see. All right, so I think I've gotten to the bottom of saying hello to everybody. I am so glad that you guys are all here. Aw, thank you, Sue. You're so sweet. Hey, Paula. Okay, so Did I dye my hair? Well, yeah, I colored it, but it's been a little bit since I have. I've got to redo it, y'all. All right. So, Randall, are you ready to pick a number?
I am. I am. And I have
Okay.
to say hi to Leslie and
Okay.
Emily. Yes, Leslie,
Hey, Leslie and Emily.
many of you
Hey
know,
y'all.
works with me and helps me assemble my children's books and does all the business end of everything and makes everything happen. And Emily, her daughter, hello, Emily. So, okay, I'm ready to pick a
Well,
number.
we definitely love us some Leslie because she's getting all of your stuff out there, which
Yeah,
we
yes.
greatly, greatly appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Sparkling Diamonds. That's so sweet. It was nothing major, but I tried. All right, so we have from number 106 to number 150.
Okay. How about 139?
139. All right. 139 is in the chat right now.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you, Kara. So I'm so happy to see it. So number 139 is Marion G. Lakecraft. Marion! Woo!
Hey,
You won the
congratulations.
$50 gift card.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna have to highlight her name so that I don't lose it, even though I won't forget Marion's name because I love me some Marion. So congratulations. I really hope everybody is having an absolutely fun time. I know I am. I have finally made it past the halfway point on Gathering of Dragons and Draglings. It's kind of big. So it's a big painting,
It
but it's
is.
round. So that helps. But I'm fixing to get to the blue dragon, which is Rupert. Although you have I just got to ask this question. You have a blue teacup dragon. Does that one have a name?
Well, the blue dragon in the piece you're working on, the Draglings' books, is not Rupert. Uh,
Oh, okay.
the blue dragon, which is in, oh my gosh, I'd have to think about what pieces. I have not put him in very many pieces of artwork. It have to be some older images.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but he's actually a little bigger than the Draglings. And I kind of relate him to a little more of a personality of a dog. He's just real sweet and real devoted and loves a good bowl of ice cream or whatever, you know. So
Oh,
Don't we all?
I haven't named all the dragons in the Gathering of Dragons that you're working on. They do need names, but I don't have names for all of them.
hmm.
Okay, because I'm telling you, I loved, and I worked on this one first because I worked, I'm working sideways on it. So I was going down
Mm-hmm.
this way. And so this purple one was the very first one that I got to do. And I can tell you right now, and I mentioned this when I unboxed it, I absolutely love that their breastplates are hearts,
Yes.
that they're the shape of hearts. That made me so happy.
Be back.
Uh-oh, did we lose Randall? Okay, there we
Spam
go.
call.
How's it ready go?
That was a spam call. It blocks my
Oh, okay, that's
camera,
what
I
happened.
guess, when that happens.
Oh.
But yeah, I just love that you put their little breastplates as hearts. But this has been so much fun to work on, and I'm like, I have an idea of where I want to put it. I have a spot up here that goes
Mm-hmm.
long ways, and I thought that would be the perfect place to put this one. Once I can get the frame for it. All right, so I am gonna switch, and if I missed anybody saying hello, but look Looks like Marianne did find out she went. She won. Yay. I'm going to switch the camera to Randall.
Okay.
I'm
going to turn mine
I gotta
around to
put
face
it
my drawing.
to here, and then we're going to go here.
There we go.
So remember, Jess and I are still here, but we just wanted to give you the biggest one to see Randall that we could.
That's
Okay.
right.
I am going to, I don't want to hear the voicemail right now from the spam call. It's trying to tell me.
Spam, and they're leaving you voicemails. Goodness.
Yes, camera, front camera.
Hey, Catherine.
Back camera. Okay, we are going to turn it around to the drawing here. So this is where I'm starting where I left off. So these are the pieces I had worked on the last couple weeks. And I just want to real quickly kind of review how I did this. Starting with the body on the dragon here. I started with a big circle here. I started with a circle here for his head. Did this little box coming out the front for the nose. Connected the two, almost like the shape of a light bulb. Added whatever tail, however big a tail you want to put on him, and his arms. And I give him the little abs for the stomach. That's what my dragon abs look like. And then the dragon head here, the big circle here for the main part of the head, and then just kind of come out with a box like this on the front of it. And then I add the nose and add the eyes, and then start adding the color and the shading. And then this was kind of the same idea, except I just wanted to make him totally different and show you how you can make the eyes different colors, different shapes, add color all over. And now these are all done. These two are done with just colored pencil on white paper. And I use Prismacolor pencils, which are pretty soft. And something I did not do last week was blending. And some of you may know this, but there is a Prismacolor blending pencil. It has no color to it, but you can take it and kind of blend your colors together. It just like you have lines from your pencil strokes. You can just kind of rub over them, and it just makes it soft. And then when you have colors blending together, like the ear is going from purple to blue, you just kind of blend those together. And then the blue goes into the green, and it's just kind of a nice smoothing effect to what you're working on. And like the oranges and reds that go into the yellows here. See how nicely that blends? And down here on the stomach, I've got a lot of strokes because I drew that real fast, that area. But if you take the blending pencil and just kind of blend it in, it just smooths it out real nice. So if you're working with Prismacolor especially, the blending pencil works real well. It's kind of a nice touch to kind of smooth things out a little bit there.
So real quick, because I do want to address a couple of things in the comments, but
yes,
on that blending pencil. So I guess because I didn't get to see it too much, but the tip of it, is it just wooden on the tip?
Well,
to help blend?
No, actually, this is it's a wood stem. It actually has, I'm not sure what it is. It must be some sort of a plastic. It does wear down, just like your pencils do, and you sharpen it just like you would with your pencils in the pencil sharpener. But it's just a little bit slightly different color than the wood, and it will pick up a little bit of the color. Like if you're working in a blue area and then you go to a orange area, it'll pick up. See, it picks up a little bit of blue. I don't know if you can see it, but right on the tip of the pencil, and so down here, if I did it on the white, you can see a little bit of blue came off on the paper. So, if you're changing color, you might want to take it over to a little scrap piece of paper or something and kind of rub that previous color you had on there, kind of rub that off.
I like that because I've only ever used the those paper blending stumps.
Yes,
And
those are
I
good
can't
for
ever figure out
base.
how to change those out.
Okay, they're good for regular pencil drawings. The blending stumps work well, um, or if you're doing something with chalks, pastels, and such, those stumps work really well with that. I have
Oh,
actually not tried them with my colored pencils, but you know what? I have one right here. I have a whole roll of them. So this is a blending stump. It just
yeah.
rolls cardboard. And, let's see how it works. Well,
And while you're doing that real quick, Sophie, the Diamond Help Desk, I'm so glad you're here. She says, Randall, you're so talented. Love seeing you live on here.
oh, thank you.
And Catherine is, I hope I said that right. Catherine said, I have those stomach sausages too. I must have been a dragon once. Well, then I must be joining you because
I'm with you, Brandy.
I know the feeling. So yes, this is actually working pretty well too. It kind of, as you can see, it is blending a bit. So I think either one of them would work well. I've kind of gotten used to the Prismacolor one, but I think I'm getting about the same effect with it. So that's a good thought. I had not picked up this, even though I have a whole stack of them here, uh, and tried it with my colored pencils.
Okay, so it does work with color because I
It
didn't know if
does.
it was
It does.
only for charcoal or pastels or if
You
it would
know,
work with.
yeah. These would work with any of those things. Yes. Now, of course, this, it doesn't wear down. I'm not quite sure what happens to them. I got one here a little more used. They just kind of flatten off. And I think, you just kind of wear them down to a point where you can't get a good point on it. And I don't believe you can sharpen a stump in a pencil sharpener. I do not think that would work. So,
Yeah, and
so
I
that
can't figure
that's
out
why,
how to change it out.
yeah, that's why I kind of like this because it's, you can be sharpened, you can get it in there and do little bitty areas. So that's one thing I wanted to show you about the drawings I'd done before is just how to blend them and make them smoother and such. Yes.
Hey, Brandy. I know
Uh-huh.
nap time and bear, it's bear something. I can't remember. I know those two are very small. What other diamond paintings of his is small? I can't think right off the top of my head.
Of mine,
Boo is small.
the
Um,
the one on that they were selling on Amazon. I'm getting a lot of shadows here for
yeah,
some reason.
that one's
The one,
nap time.
yes, nap time. Yes, that's probably the smallest one that I know
Um,
anyway.
But Boo is pretty small, and I mean, as far as like compared to a lot of his, um, uh, hmm.
because Tammy's asking because she only does the smaller ones, but for the love of Pete, I cannot think of it right off the top of my head.
I think a lot of mine are pretty good size
Most of
because
them are like
they're detailed.
50 by 50s.
Yes.
Now the dragon,
Yeah, I
the
know some of
Easter
the older
dragon is
ones.
yeah.
That that
Now
one is. I actually have that right here. It came.
they
It
lost my
it came a couple of days ago. That one's actually a 42.6 by 45.7. So the Easter dragon is a
it's
small
big.
one, but it is sold out.
They lost mine in the mail.
Oh no.
No,
I was
no,
very,
I'd be
very,
having a heart
very
attack.
upset. I am. I'm very, very upset. I've already called the post office and yeah, and I
Maybe
can't make
somebody working there does diamond painting. You never know.
well, I can't file a claim or anything on it till April the 6th.
Ah. So what I thought I would move on tonight, I had mentioned before uh, that the basis of the dragon, starting with the circles, I use that with other characters and other animals, and I hope I will be drawing this big enough. Uh, I like to do my cats and rabbits and dogs and such. They're rather whimsical. I actually don't always sit down with a photo of a cat and try to do a cat portrait or a dog, even though I have done that at times. When I'm making them up, I just like to make them kind of whimsical like. So that's why I like to start with this big circle. And, for me, that's the big belly. And I do have a cat that has a big belly, Elizabeth. She's
You
kind of
little
round.
sweetie.
She is sweet. So anyway, this is kind of how the same way I was starting the dragons. This would be the big circle here, and then these will be the legs on the side, and the legs sticking out on the other side, just part of it there. And they don't have to be. It doesn't have to be perfectly round or any particular shape, but generally that to kind of show the body. And then I like to jump up here just a little ways and work on a head. So the head, say with the cat, is going to start with a round head. He's going to be a very whimsical looking cat. He'll look like a cat, but not necessarily like a real cat. So a cat, my dragons, when I would draw the nose, I would come way out here and kind of draw the round things in the end of the nose and connect it to the face. With a cat, their face doesn't come out as far. So it would be just, they kind of have little round cheeks. I'll stick it out in front of the round part of his head, kind of like that. And then, he's got a little mouth. Their little mouth kind of goes like that. So you've already got a little bit of a mouth there going in. And they've got the little triangular nose that goes in there. So there you've got a little bit of a cat's face, a little bit. And so their nose kind of goes up like this. And then cat's eyes are kind of almond shaped, kind of like that. They're kind of one point down here and another point up there. And that's kind of the shape of a cat's eye. So you can see already it's not a real cute cat, but he's starting to look like a cat. and then I like to just kind of continue the line around the edges. And then up here, cat's ears are different. My dragon's ears, they start right up here. They're about that big. And then one over here on this side, not quite as, it'll be thinner because you're showing it at a different angle. So it kind of looks like it's there. And you see a little bit of the back of the ear there, where here you just see the front of the ear because of the angle. So see how just a circle is turning into a cat head. And cat's eyes are different than my draglings. You kind of need to get this thing going with the cat's eyes here, the dark part of the eye there. And then I like to just indicate a little bitty circle. That's probably where a highlight will be once I get him going there. So, and I ended up giving him a really big cheek. So he's got fat cheeks here. But anyway, so there is how you can take the same shape that I used for creating my dragon and start creating a cat. And so you bring him down here. And cats have, they kind of have rounded, big round paws for their feet. So this will be his foot and the back of the heel. And again, this is not necessarily accurate on how a real cat's leg goes. It's similar, but not really accurate. And then I like to put the little lines between the toes. There really should be 4 toes there showing. Anyway, and then I like to get my eraser. And then if you take out a few of those lines there and a few of the lines, you can kind of see there's the leg there, and then here's the foot on the other side.
Tammy, you don't have to finish a piece for any of our events
Yeah.
because
No, you
Randall's
don't have to finish anything. Just have fun.
that's it, because Randall's pieces are so big, you're not want to be able to. Even if you are multi-placing, you're not going to be able to.
And same with these drawings. I'm just drawing you. You should just, if you wanted, if you're doing the drawing, just do little sketches in a sketchbook or something. Maybe try to draw a cat, try to draw a dragon, and that would be enough. So the cat's tail obviously is quite different than the dragon's tail. And so his tail is just going to come right up from the back here and go around like that. Now this is a short-haired cat. Cat would be much bigger and fluffier tail. So as you can see, he's got a huge stomach here. I'm going to take a little bit of that top edge off of it. And so he needs some arms, or what would be front legs. But again, it's for a whimsical cat. So his arms are probably not going to be in proportion to what his legs would be. But I like to do an oval for the upper arm, oval for the forearm, a little nice round there for the hand. And same over here, except this upper arm is going to be kind of behind his body. So you just draw a little bit of it. And then the upper arm there, it can go over. He's kind of resting on his leg there. And his paw there. So again, I got that paw, that leg. You can see that leg is a lot longer than this leg. So I like the little bit longer legs, the longer arms. It's more.
Hey, Catherine, it's just a cat that has acted very well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, look, some cats have food babies, just like we did. We food babies.
That's it.
So after you get all that in, then I like to go along the edges and just kind of connect it all. Draw it around here and connect it. And then you get down to their paw. You're going to have their paws are probably going to be kind of sticking out like that. So there will be their toes again.
And the good thing about art, it's all up to your imagination. It's just not set in stone of this has to be this way or that way. It's all up to you.
Absolutely, yes. Like I say, I'm not trying to do cat portraits. I would say if you wanted to draw a cat like this and you wanted it to look like your cat, that could be done with the coloring. If you got a black and white cat, you could just kind of indicate, I like my Elizabeth. She has a white patch across the front of her face, kind of going across there. So you could make most of the cat black, and then add the white here in a white stomach if that's what they've got, or make it a yellow cat. But it wouldn't have to be a portrait of it that it actually looks just like your cat, but just the coloring. And then name it after your cat and it will be your cat. So anyway, so their nose, they got little nostrils. I like to go around and see after you get the basic shape in there, you go around and start adding the little details. Like that in there. And ideally, his head probably could have been a little bit bigger because his stomach is so huge. He's an enormous cat. So anyway,
He's a Mancoon.
he could be. we have a stray tomcat, and I know he lives somewhere. I don't know where, but he shows up usually twice a day at the front door and tells me to give him kitty food and a bowl of milk. And he keeps coming back for it. But he's a big old tomcat, and he looks tough.
Aw.
Okay, so you can kind of see what's going on here with this. So you can see it's kind of the same shape of my dragons, of the draglings. It, different type of tail, different feet, obviously different head. That's one of the big differences there is the shape of the head and the face. So anyway. Okay. So there's a cat. And if you want to add color, you can do what I've done before. You can either watercolor if you wanted to do a base color of watercolor. Say it was I don't think it would dry fast enough for me here. Say it was a yellow cat. You could do kind of a yellow base color with watercolor and just let it dry. And after it's dry, go back in with say colored pencils and a little bit darker shades. And I'm just gonna since I don't have a watercolor on there, but you can go with your colored pencils and just kind of add, like, say if it was a yellow tiger stripe, you could just kind of add little jagged lines that would kind of indicate. You just look at the cat and say, oh, he's got kind of lines there, and they usually have, the rings on the tail. They go around when they're a yellow tiger cat. I actually have one upstairs, and the one that comes to the door is a yellow tiger cat too. So you can see if it was a base color of yellow, and then you use your colored pencils on top, and when you do the little zigzags, curve them around. It gives shape to the tail, to the roundness of the tail, and this gives you shape to the legs when you do that too. And you can do the same things on the arms. It just
Catherine said, if he has a collar, can you leave a note for the owners?
he doesn't have a collar, and he's been coming around for, I bet, 3 years. And sometimes he'll not come around for a month, and then sometimes he'll come every morning and every night. He obviously has a home somewhere because he's well fed. I know he's not a stray, and he's not terribly dirty, but he seems to love that bowl of milk especially.
Oh yeah, most cats they seem to think that's just the bee's knees.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
So anyway, it kind of gives you a feel what you can do with the same shapes. Now, what I did earlier is I did a whole bunch of really rough sketches. So anyway,
I'm sorry, I love them.
I was kind of playing. So here's the same idea. Here's a cat. Now this one wasn't quite as fat. I kind of narrowed him down a bit. And with your eraser, you can make the cat as fat or skinny as you want. I kind of narrowed his body down a bit here, and his head's a little bigger. And so I started. This is some silly little frog that I drew years ago. I used to draw this circle and these two legs, and then two legs there, and three little toes there, and three little toes there for the back feet, and an oval. And anyway, and there you
Those
got
are so
so
I love
it
I
just
love the
it's just
little
the fun
frog.
it's just the fun things you can do when you're just playing with the shapes to create. And since we're on the frog, I pull out this piece I did a couple years ago called Reading Time, where
I
I
know,
did
I love that one.
did draw a frog in it, but this one I actually looked at a picture of a real frog, and I got the shape much more like a real frog, but still he has the three toes. He's not as fat. I tried to make the head a little more realistic, but you can see the eyes. He's still kind of cute and whimsical. And I did the same with the turtle. I looked at a picture of a turtle to get the general shape of the head, and I made his eyes bigger and just add more personality. And so that's how I created the turtle. And then the mouse, you can see I did exactly the same thing I just showed you. The round stomach, the round legs, the little feet, and of course when you're coloring them in, you can give them the little pink toes on, like a little mouse would have. And then when you add the color, you just kind of get your base color in and do little strokes, either with paint or your markers or your colored pencils, little strokes, and it makes it look like fur. And again, here, kind of an oval head with just the ears on it, and big eyes and a little pink nose.
This one is Diamond Art Club did do this painting, but it was limited edition, so it it is not at Diamond Art Club as of this moment.
No,
And
it's not.
Yeah,
Don't flood Diamond
I
Art
had
Club.
missed out on it.
Well, if they get enough requests, and I can't guarantee this, I'm just saying this. If they get enough requests for a sold out piece, it's possible they might bring it back, kind of as a limited edition again. I think that's a possibility. And
Well,
They have
sure.
done that in the past. They've done that before. So,
Okay.
if it's a piece that you really want to see back, sometimes if you just say, "Hey, is there any way that this one can come back?" And sometimes if they get enough of it, you know, they'll sometimes bring it back. I
Yeah.
was lucky because I missed out on this one, and someone was sweet enough to find it for me. And sent it to me. So I was like, "Oh, thank goodness." Yeah, it's storming here. I'm so sorry that I had that glitch up there, guys. Storms, Florida.
Ah,
and if you want to flood Diamond Art Clothes, just hint, hint, Eldar secret.
ah,
I
Yep.
missed that
I'm
one.
so happy I got my Eldars.
yes, yes.
That one,
Um,
I jumped on that one as fast as I could jump.
Yeah,
I know
I
that was
missed
one of your
it.
favorites. Yes, yes. So
That was one of my favorites. I was like, I asked for that one because I commented to Diamond Art Club. I'm like, "Please, I need this one and this one," and I was glad they put out both of them. So
yes. You can see in this piece also, the bunny was basically done about the same way, even though you can't see the whole body. You can see the main part of him would have been a big circle. There's the legs. There's, of course, he gets a bunny tail. The arms, kind of an oval there, there, and then when you add your color, instead of doing a hard edge around his arms and legs, you kind of make it kind of fuzzy, like little strokes to kind of look like he's soft and fuzzy. And then the head, you've got your circle, and his nose, his little face, just like I drew the cat, except it sticks out a little further because a bunny's head is a little longer than a cat's head. And then, of course, you can make the ears do anything you want. These kind of stick up. Some bunnies' ears kind of flop down like that. So it kind of gives you some ideas. And then I gave him bigger eyes that a bunny would have, and probably not exactly like a bunny eye, but an eye that has a lot of personality and character to it. So anyway, so that's how you can actually turn it into a finished piece of art, starting with that shape. So anyway,
wow,
back to these. Now here I experimented with basically a dog shape using the circles again. And this time he's standing up, a side view of him. And instead of having a big stomach, a dog or a cat standing up, actually their chest area is usually bigger than their stomach area. So that's why my other ones are very whimsical because they got big tummies. But this dog, I drew a big circle kind of for the chest area, a smaller circle back here for the legs and the hips and all, and then just brought from there the leg coming off of that, and then connected the two. Again, it's almost that light bulb shape, and again on the head, a circle there. The nose, it's kind of squared off area, little dog ears of some sort. I'm not sure what breed of dog this is. And there are some breeds that probably would not fit into this formula, like a French bulldog. He would be well, I'd almost need a picture of one in front of me to draw it, but he would be very, very short and squatty, and probably have a big rear end and a big chest too, and maybe little bitty short legs of some sort. How a little French bulldog would be. I'm just doing a real rough little thing here to that's the way I like to start things, is very loose and very rough, just to indicate where I want him to be. But these would be the short front legs of a little dog. So anyway, um,
see,
and then,
that one kind of reminds me the one that the first one you drew out, dog,
mhm,
kind of
mhm.
reminds me of whatever kind of dog Scooby Doo is, because like
Oh, yes.
What is he, a Dane or
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it just kind of reminds me a little bit of that kind of dog.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah. So and then once you start getting this general shape in, just take your eraser in there and erase those lines because he's in any areas that kind of stick out a little extra. Just erase the stuff you don't want there. So you'll have kind of a fuzzy tail.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, he's a Great Dane. That's what I forgot.
Okay.
Great
Okay.
Dane.
Okay. All right. And again, I like to give my characters bigger eyes so you can see them better, and that's probably bigger eyes than the dog would have, but and a little nose. But then after you get that general thing, you go in there and start. He's a happy dog, so I turn the end of his mouth up to make him happy, and it's amazing how different they look with just that curve of the mouth. You can see it went up. He was very happy. Now there, he's all of a sudden very sad or concerned. Uh,
Oh.
so you can, and then if he's very kind of worried looking, you kind of raise the eyelid right up in the top part there, the way someone would be if they looked worried. It's kind of fun if you want to get a certain expression to maybe look at yourself in the mirror and go, if I want to look scared, what are my eyes doing? And if I want to look worried, what are my eyes and eyebrows doing? And you can relate that to what you draw, and it kind of helps. But yeah,
Randall, Catherine is asking, what hardness of pencil do you use?
this is just a good old yellow number 2 pencil. I sometimes will use a harder pencil. I don't like to use anything softer than this because when I draw, my hands are all over everything. And the softer the pencil is, the more I smear it all over. Depending on the surface of paper, um, I just enjoy the number 2 seems to work best for me. Now, this particular one is a 3H. So you can see it gives a nice, sharp, tiny line, but pressing hard, you have to press fairly hard to get it dark. Um,
Ah.
so, sometimes I will use that because I like detail and I like to be able to keep a good point on my pencil. So, that works sometimes, but I just really enjoy the number 2. And then I like to keep my point very sharp too. And I draw very lightly, so you don't want to press too hard and just break the points off of your pencils. And
Right.
just build because you can see how I do this. I start with a bunch of little strokes and and once I figure out that's the shape I want, then I go in a little harder and give a harder edge to it. And you'll see all these other little lines all around the face. And there you go in with your eraser and just kind of, erase them a little bit. They don't have to be all totally gone. It looks kind of artsy to have, a lot of little strokes around there around your finished line, I think.
Okay.
Kind of
Because I
looks.
was always wondering, how did you get rid of how do you not have all those little pencil marks when you're trying to go further and complete a piece? Does coloring kind of help take
Yes,
some
coloring
of
will.
that off too?
Yes, definitely. Coloring will cover up all these, like, see, I don't know if you can see how close, but around the nose here, there's all these little lines and looks like almost like smeared pencil and stuff. Once I start coloring, that all kind of gets covered up.
Okay.
Now, if you happen to draw something and decide you want to draw it in ink, do an ink outline or drawing around over the pencil drawing. You could do that, and then it's easy to erase all the pencil lines, once you get a nice hard ink line on there. So,
Right.
anyway.
And what's the other little guy that I see peeking out to the
Well,
side?
I don't remember if I did this last week or when I did this one, where it came from. But anyway, it just, again, another little dragon. This one's a little different. See, his ears are a little different than the draglings. He's got little wings, which kind of leads me to another thing I wanted to talk about real quick about my dragons, about some other characters that I see. I know Diamond Art Club is starting to come out with. I have some other dragons called, here they are. These guys, and some of you may have seen some of these images. It's called Peekaboo. But see, this dragon is a little different than draglings. It's very similar, but they're smaller. They have spots on them rather than scales. Their ears are green instead of gold. Their eyes are even bigger, and they have little wings. But these are teacup dragons, and they like to sleep in teacups. And of course, they do like chocolate chip cookies. I think all dragons like chocolate chip cookies. At least any dragon I draw.
That's
So
right.
these are teacup dragons. And here is another one called Tada. I know this is done as a cross stitch design. I've seen quite a few people doing this one. But again, here's my general shape, the same idea, the big feet. The body is just a little shorter and stubbier, and his head is probably a little bigger on his body than the draglings. And then they've got their little wings. But again, they're so small, they sleep in teacups, and that's why, he's scaled to a kind of a large spool of thread, but that's about as big as these little guys get. Then here,
Um, Cheryl wanted to know if you use manual or electric sharpener.
I have an electric sharpener right here, and that, especially if you're working with Prismacolor and colored pencils, a good pencil sharpener is really a great thing to have. This one is an X-Acto brand, and it seems to work real well. If you get kind of a cheap electric pencil sharpener, some of them, especially with the Prismacolor pencils, you can't get it very sharp because it keeps breaking the tip of the pencil off for some reason. And I've gone through a couple pencil sharpeners that have done that. And then when I travel and I'm at my art shows and I'm just sitting there in my chair drawing without an electric pencil sharpener, I'll just use a little utility knife like that and sit there and just sharpen my pencils. And I usually leave a little pile of debris on the floor under my chair. But that works well. Get a really nice sharp point. And a good manual pencil sharpener will work also. But I've not used those very often.
We got Carolyn wants to know, do you like the black background like in Easter Dragon? Although Easter Dragon doesn't, I guess, yeah, there's a behind the books, it's like a black background.
Yes, I do that a lot. It's actually a very deep navy blue is what it is. In the original, that's what I draw with. Sometimes being reproduced, it kind of turns to a black, because of how things are reproduced. But I have always done that a lot in a lot of pieces. And I'm trying to see if I can come up. Of course, I say that, and then I start looking through my artwork and going, well, I can't find one that's like that. But yes.
Hey, that's always the case. That's why I say it. I tend to hide things from myself because I'll be like, I'll put it right here. I know where it's at. And then I don't know where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some pieces like this particular one, of course, being outdoors, there's a lot more leaves and things. I could have done a very dark background back here, which would have made the light and the characters and all pop a little more because it would be darker. But I really wanted to create more of a feeling of a kind of an enchanted forest feeling. And maybe it's a kind of twilight instead of dark of night. So I wanted trees and fireflies all around to kind of create some depth there.
Okay. And speaking of that picture, Grinchville one says, using that picture, can you show how you started it out and composed it? In other words, did you start with the book in the middle and work out around that, or
Usually,
did you
yeah.
choose a different spot?
No, in this particular one, I probably drew again very loosely, just the way I've done here. I probably did. I don't remember exactly if I started with the book or if I started with the dragons, but I probably did the book. Drew it just maybe the big oval where there's going to be a dragon there and a dragon there, and then another book because I wanted these three books to be at different angles throughout the piece. This one, and this one. And then I wanted owls in it too. That was one of my original plans. And hello, Elizabeth. She's back again. Uh, and
Aw.
so I probably drew a big oval here and then wanted to add a baby owl here. And the other thing would have been the tree. It's kind of the line of the tree, how it just kind of comes down through the whole piece. Part of the composition is the books and these characters all going this way across the picture, the tree and the tree trunk in the background going this way across the picture generally. And it kind of takes your eye right to the center, right to the where the main characters are. And then the tree branches and all the leaves kind of coming in and just bringing your eye back into the picture.
Oh, okay. Kind of like makes it kind of focus because
Yeah,
it's
yeah, it does. And
okay.
then tree root here kind of wraps around the book, and um, it kind of encloses this little area. And I wanted it to feel like a nice, cozy, safe place for all these characters to sit and read books in the forest. And they've got their little book nook here. So, uh, and then the bird
Well,
up here.
I absolutely love that one.
So anyway, yeah, that's kind of the way I did that. And then the leaves and things, and these things, some of these things around the edge, even though they're coming in, they are the last things I add. Just because you can put the leaves anywhere. They're kind of filler, I guess I should say. Once you got your main things in there, then the leaves are the filler. And it's kind of like that even with a simpler piece. Such as this, you've got your main character, your main focus here, the stack of books, the little teacup dragon on the back. I mean, up on the top here, and then the books in the background. I add that afterwards, just to kind of help with the composition. I like the little curved woodwork in the background. Of course, this light source here. Um, and the globe here, things that just kind of enclose the picture and give it a nice feel. So, and you can see generally
Okay.
similar idea here too. You've got the main characters, and I figured this is kind of a music and sewing piece, which is an odd
Oh,
combination.
I
So
love that piece.
it's always fun to hear why someone wants this piece. Some people are because of music, some people because of the sewing. Um, but anyway, the columns, of course, to kind of enclose it. But the piano is going into the picture. The music sheets are going around the bottom, kind of enclosing the whole thing here. And then the threads,
Well, I'll
kind
tell you, there's one it doesn't look like that, but I mean, it's okay. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but the one that they had in for the vote, and of course, I had to vote for it.
oh
Um,
yeah,
he's doing the little
yeah.
magical,
It's called the
little
Little
magical
Man.
one, and he's got like little magic books around him.
Yes, yes. And the book that he is doing his little magic thing to is actually floating in the air. It's a little hard to tell at first, but if you look, you can see a little shadow under it there. Um, and that is also a teacup dragon, very similar piece to these. And that's kind of why I wanted to bring this out because I had seen that and I needed to kind of start letting everyone know that they are draglines, but they're kind of a different species, a much smaller, and like I say, they like to sleep in teacups. So anyway.
So sorry, it went out on me again. This thing's just determined to just kick me out left and right. I'm like, I just got 5 more minutes. Stop. But I do want to say, y'all go to his website. Y'all make sure mods link his website. Make sure you're going to his website. Make sure you've got his books and, to purchase that you can get his coloring books. Like, show Randal all the loves,
Yeah,
and vote for every
show
painting that DAC shows.
Yeah, I do show the coloring book every time. But again, these are all based on these actual drawings. So it's a good practice. This is so many books, so little time, and a lot of these pieces. And I'm actually working on my second coloring book now. It's going to take a while to do enough drawings for it, but I think I've got about 4 or so drawings done. And
Oh wow.
anyway, and this particular piece
That's so exciting.
is from this piece in the coloring book is from Reading Time, and you can kind of see what I've done since the pieces in the coloring book are cropped. I didn't want a half of a book and a half of an owl up at the top of this picture, so I did keep. Can you all see? I don't know if you can see all of this, but anyway, I'm trying to get it all in there.
There we go.
You can see there's the frog, there's the turtle, the mouse. I took the rabbit out because he would have been sticking in. Sorry about that. I keep hitting the camera, making it shake. He would have been over here. In fact, you know what? I changed it a lot. Now that I look at it, I took this book out too. But anyway, but it's based on this piece. And I took the tree branches over, created a sign called the Forest Library, and put the books in right behind the draglings there. So anyway, so that's so some of these pieces in the coloring book are unique and have never been turned into full color to begin with. And then there's a close-up of the same thing if you want to just focus on that and not doing a coloring page quite as detailed to that to begin with. You can practice on one and finish the other. So anyway, and of course, those are, I'm sure most of you know, those are on Amazon, print on demand. On my website, randalspangler.com, that and my 2 other books, my bedtime story and my Draglings ABC book, which I think a lot of you have seen. I've shown them every week here, just to remind you of them. So anyway.
And didn't you say you have some plans for another book that you're working on?
Working on a counting book right at the moment, and it's coming along real well. It's going to be a smaller book, a simpler book with even less pages. It's only going to be counting 1 to 10 is what it's going to be. But it's going to be a smaller, less expensive book. And I will let everyone know as soon as it's out.
Okay, that is awesome. So look at that, guys. We've got another Randal book that we can look forward to. And at some point, another coloring book, so, and of course, we're constantly hoping for more diamond paintings. I don't know about y'all, but I'm wanting the other 2 houses. I know Caden said he's already got both of the houses. He's waiting for the other 2 houses to be able to drop. I'm just waiting for just so long as DAC doesn't try to put out like 50 all at once. My pocketbook can't handle that. But
yes, I'm sure they will be doing the houses. There's a great haunted house. Then I've got a couple other. There's 2 houses one called the Rose Trellis Inn and one the Village Bookstore that are not part of the seasonal houses, but they are others. So they still have a lot of pieces to choose from. They will be releasing pieces for a long time to come. I hope.
That is awesome. All right, so let me put us back in since it's 8:00, let me put us back with all 3 of us.
Okay, I'm going to turn the camera back around. If I can do that.
Yep. So
And
once again, I do apologize, everybody, for the few couple of times that I popped it out, and then you saw all three of us again. I tried to, as soon as I got logged back on, I tried to put it back where we could all see Randal and what he was drawing. So, but from my understanding, and Jess will have to let me know, up until I came back in, it didn't disrupt the feed, right?
Mm. No,
Okay. Okay. So,
no, it didn't.
I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for coming and doing this and putting up with my whatever this is outside that's determined to rage in Florida, because we can't be sunshine. We got to be rainy. My husband says that's how we get the sunshine. And I know it, but still, it's
we're having
rain.
sunshine almost every day, but it's 51 degrees. So it's
Ooh. And if y'all want to
No,
go
I
and
have my air conditioner on.
put a little
What?
bug in DAC's ear,
Yeah.
it's Eldar Secret and Reading Time, correct?
mhm.
Yeah, reading time and Eldar Secret, for those that didn't get a chance to get it,
Hint.
be like, hey, we, even if it's just one more shot,
They're real good about listening
um,
and listening to what they would like.
they
Yes.
really do. They really do. They pay attention to what you guys ask for, and they try to meet y'all's needs and y'all's wants to try to do what they can. So, if they know that it's something that a lot of people are really wanting, then, sometimes they will consider that. But I just want to say once again, Randal, just thank you so much for coming on here and doing this. I know I have learned a lot. I know a lot of people have told us that, they're loving this. They're really enjoying learning from you, and you really have a good knack for showing us how to do things.
Well, I hope
And
everyone.
just remember, guys, we do have. Oh, sorry. Say that again,
I
Jess.
just say I hope everyone's enjoying it. And the main thing is, don't be too critical of what you're doing. I'm still horribly critical of everything I do, even my finished pieces. It just comes with the territory. Just have fun. Just go. What kind of a silly dragon can I draw, or a cat or a dog or whatever?
Mm.
That's right. And just the more and more you try it and practice it, the better off that you'll get as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
But we're always our worst. We're always our worst critics.
Yes.
So,
Very much.
but I just wanted to say, y'all do not forget that next week will be the final live with Randal for Now, where we will have the grand prize drawing, and the week 4. Now remember, week 4 is cutting off this Friday. I cannot believe it's already been 4. It went by so fast. Kind of like my spring break. It went by too fast. I had to go back to work today. So, I greatly appreciate everything that you do. We thank you for bringing us joy to our world and giving us a little brightness, because sometimes people have hard days, and we just need a little bit of bright in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And your paintings do that.
Thank you.
They give us a chance to.
That's why I do it.
Well, you bring out, art is supposed to bring out emotion. And I know I'm not the only one that just the feeling, I know I can't go back to being a child anymore, but that feeling of childlike joy, as well as like feeling comforted, that's what I get when I look at your artwork. And so that's one of the things that just really drew me in addition to dragons, obviously dragons, but you know, that just that feeling. And I'm like, I want to keep feeling that. And that's why every time that I get a chance to work on one of your paintings, I'm like sad when it's over. And I'm like, okay, next one. Get the next one.
Cheryl, I don't understand. What list so people can sign it. I'm not for sure what you're asking
What?
there.
I
She
must
said,
have.
do a list and people can sign it. They will love that and will do that. But I'm not understanding.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I'm assuming she's talking about but if you put a list, how's everybody gonna, like, that's kind of like a petition, but I don't know how
I don't
to,
know.
I just know if you just contact them and just say, you know, hey, we'd love this one. We'd love this one. I think that's really all that you need to do is just say, hey, we'd love this. All right, but I don't want to keep everybody. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming on and hanging out and drawing along, and even if you're not drawing along, just watching and
Yeah.
having fun and supporting. That's what we're here for. So I thank y'all so much for coming and doing this. And anything that y'all want to say before we sign off?
Just go and put a little bug in DAC's ear.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
you have to do.
And just have fun drawing.
Yep, that's it.
Or diamond painting, whatever.
To have fun. All right, I'm going to leave you like I always do. Reach for the stars, grab hold on, and never let go. Until the next time, bye, y'all.